Alright, so today we're going to do a full fish room tour. My fish room currently has 40 aquariums set up, all being run by one Gemco linear air piston pump. Majority of these tanks are drilled and set up to my auto water change system, and they either run on sponge filters or Matten filters. I'm obviously a big Aquarium Co-op fan. I have some artwork from Jimmy, as well as the Fish 2 posters when the aquatic experience was in New Jersey. I'm also working on adding a whole nother rack to the fish room, so if you're interested in seeing how those tanks are set up, how I drill my aquariums, and all of that stuff, check out the channel for more videos on that. Alright, so we could start with this first rack here. Could start right in the middle with this 40-gallon breeder. This 40-gallon breeder has one of my favorite guppies in the fish room right now. It's the 24 karat gold guppies. Originally imported from Thailand. I finally got them acclimated to 100% fresh water, normal temperature ranges. I also have a breeding pair of blue-eyed lemon bristlenose plecos. That's the female right there, nice and chunky. And then the male kind of made his own cave under that rock there. You can see the fry everywhere. I also have cherry shrimp in here. I have one female in this netted area. Something I noticed about this strain was that they're notorious fry eaters. For the longest time I couldn't get any fry and I didn't know why. Turns out that they were eating them right away. So some guppy strains, you can leave the adults with them. They won't touch the fry. This strain, they will eat them. So they definitely need to be separated when they're ready to drop fry. We can move over. This is my longfin white cloud minnow tank. I started with a group of 8 breeders. You can see the larger ones with the nice long fins. I did breed them. I ended up with 200 fry. Sold, a bunch of them on Aquabid and eBay. Something interesting was that I did get these golds come out of this line. So I'm waiting to see if these golds have long fins. But for now, they're all living together since we're not breeding. And way in the back there, I have a group of about 8 to 10 stir-by Corydoras. In this tank here, I have a trio of the Blue Mosaic Elephant Ear strain. I really like this strain. The male, it's got some really nice color on him. It's hard to find a nice blue in my opinion. No fry from them yet, but I'm making sure they have enough cover. The floating plant is frog bit. So above those tanks, we have my group of orange Medaka rice fish. Currently have a spawning mop in there. I'm working on trying to breed these guys up, get them into the hobby. Not sure why these guys aren't readily available. They're really great fish, super hardy, don't require a heater. I've seen them overwinter, with ice on the pond. The tank next to them, I have their fry growing up from a different mop that I had pulled. And in this tank, I got a group of panda cories, growing them up, hoping to breed these guys. Also in this tank, I just recently acquired these. I bought them as the black Medaka rice fish. Right now, they don't seem too dark. I'm hoping that they darken up as they get older. But right now, I've got a group of those. These next few tanks are my shrimp tanks. In this tank, I have the orange shrimp. I have one guy up here in the front. The rest of them like to hide in the back in the Pogostem and Stellatus octopus. Next tank over, I have the yellow neocaridina shrimp. These shrimp did well in my water. Have a lot of buried females. You can even see some babies in here on the walls. You can see the little shrimplets there swimming around. In this next tank, I have some blue dream shrimp. I think I have a group of about 8 or so. Got them about a month back, and I think that they have finally acclimated to my water. Something I have quarantining in here is the short body version of the orange Medaka rice fish. Something I've never seen before. Something I did notice with this strain from the seller that I got them from. They look really great from the top-down view. Most of them do. I did notice that some of them, you could see the eyes there. I can't tell if the fish is blind or not. The fish eats really well, doesn't seem like it's blind, but this line definitely needs some work. But it'll be a fun project to work with. I've never seen the short body. I do see them already carrying eggs in the mornings, so we'll see what we get with that. And this tank is my red cherry shrimp tank. Not too many cherry shrimp in here right now. I have some orange Medaka rice fish fry in here. I did have a seed shrimp problem in this tank, and I believe they were competing with the cherry shrimp for food, so I wasn't getting that many cherry shrimp out of this tank here. You can see the seed shrimp on that driftwood there. Used to be covered all over this Eco Complete, but they've taken care of most of that. Did take them about a month to do so, but we can see now some young cherry shrimp in here, so they're still going. They're hiding in the back. Got a nice one there. This bottom tank is a 75 gallon. I've got some koi angelfish in here that I bred. I've also got an assortment of rainbow fish in here, some kamakas, Millennium Red, and the Axorati, the yellow rainbow fish. I originally had a lot of each strain of rainbow fish. Over time, unfortunately, I just lost them, and this is what I have left. I also have what I believe to be a pair of longfin super red bristlenose. Alright, so in the second rack, we'll start with this 40-gallon breeder here while everybody's out and eating. I just threw in some frozen brine shrimp to get everybody out. On the bottom there, I've got some green laser Corydoras that I'm growing out, hopefully to spawn eventually at some point. I've got a group of super red, normal fin bristlenose plecos. The rainbow fish in here are the Bozemanai rainbow fish. I got them from a seller on Aquabid who got them from Gary Lang, so that's the Gary Lang strain. The rosy barbs in here were accidentally spawned in a quarantine tank. Didn't know what fish they were. Threw them in a 10-gallon. They raised up really nice. Turned out with a nice red color to them. Over in the next tank, I have some Japan blue gold double sword guppies. I put the rapashi in there to bring out the cherry shrimp I had in here, but I guess the guppies like it more. You can see the male right there. That's my main breeding male. He's got the nice double sword, a nice blue and gold coloring. The females get a nice gold. They're very prolific. I have a lot of fry. And I'm starting to get some males to sex out. You can see that one there with the blue on the tail. So I'm hoping that they breed with a nice double sword. This tank has some Wapoga red laser rainbow fish. They're pretty small. They're still in quarantine right now. I just got them maybe a week ago. They have some growing to do. Also hidden away in here are 5 reticulated hillstream loaches. Can't seem to find any right now, but planning on growing some of those out, starting that breeding project. Got the one hiding in the back there, reticulated hillstream loach. In this 10-gallon, I've got the Santa Claus guppies. These males I got from Twin Cities Guppies, along with the larger female. I never got fry from this larger female. I tried putting her on her own. I tried putting her in a tank like this with a ton of cover. I tried putting her in her own breeder basket, and I never got fry. So I ended up ordering from another person online. These are the females that I got from that breeder. Don't really look too much alike, but from what I've seen with this strain, I don't think they breed true. These males are doing some weird vertical thing right now. But normally, they're swimming with those big white pectoral fins and the nice orange and the dark blue body. But what I've seen online, people struggling to breed these, and when they do breed them, the males kind of end up like this one here. He's kind of in his own little tank. Camera would focus on him. Doesn't really have the white pectoral fins. He's got the tail, but he's got a different body color. That male even more so. He's got a green body to him. So these guys are separated, because I don't want them mixing in with what I have. In this tank we have the Australia orange killifish. I started out with a pair, ended up breeding a bunch of them, selling some on Aquabid and eBay, and kept some that I like. I hope to breed some more of these. The males have that beautiful orange, and even the females have a nice gold body to them that I like. Next tank over, we have some Blue Daisies rice fish. I really like this strain that I got. They have a nice blue to them. Some of them are really dark blue, depending on the light. And they have the nice orange pectoral fins. I believe I only got a few females in this group. The female has less color, more of the orange body to it. And I believe I only got 2 females out of 12. So we'll have to do some rearranging of some males if I want to breed them, not overwhelm those females. But looking forward to that breeding project once these guys are done with their quarantine. All right, in this next tank over, we have some of the orange Medaka rice fish fry. These ones are big enough that I have started shipping them out. Trying to get as many as I can out to people right before summer starts. These are really good pond fish, like I said before. Better alternative to goldfish if you have a smaller tub. These guys are in a 10-gallon right now very comfortably, and they do really well outside, and it's fun to see the fry in the algae and green water in your pond. This next tank over, I have some tuxedo koi guppy fry. I bought a fry pack of 6. I currently have 5. And from the looks of it, if I had to guess, it's looking to be 4 males and 1 female. So not the best ratio. You can see the gonopodium there on that male. He's starting to develop it. So we'll have to separate out some males to give this female some relief when they start growing up older. These are some of my platinum Dumbo ear mosaic guppies. This is just one drop from a female from a different line that I am considering mixing into my own line. I like to make sure that the line breeds true before I start mixing my line in. I'm not crazy about this line's females. You'll see later in my other tanks, the females that I have nice solid blue tails. These females look like they have yellow in the tail. We'll see how large the Dumbo ears get on these males. Focus in on one. Right now these are young ones. So we'll see how they turn out. I'm hoping for the large Dumbo ears so that I can improve the genetics on my line. And next to that are more orange Medaka rice fish fry. Again, trying to crank them out. This bottom 75 is kind of in limbo right now. We have a bunch of different kinds of barbs in here. Mostly some cherry barbs, some Odessa barbs. There's one big roseline shark in there. Gold barb. I originally had a bunch of barbs, appropriate number of schools for each species in this tank, and it was a lot of fun, a lot of activity. And unfortunately, while I was traveling, this tank developed ick, and because I wasn't home, I wasn't able to catch it in the beginning and ended up losing about half the fish. I'm got different plans for this tank. I don't think it's going to be barbs in the future. Probably going to bring these to club auction and give them a good home. You can see the tank's covered in algae, but I'm going to do something fun with this tank. I'm not sure yet, but we'll see. All right, we could start with the last rack here. We'll look at my adult breeders of the platinum red mosaic Dumbo ear guppies. You can see here that the females have that large blue tail. They also get bigger bodied. I have a couple young males in there that I selected for my future breeders. Let's see, my adult male is hiding in the back there. You can see he's got the large pectoral fins, the big Dumbo ears, a nice blue body. That's what I'm looking for in the strain. He's got a nice female there with the big blue tail. And the tank next to that one is the same strain. Mostly fry grow out. Some females that I have ready for sale. I like to keep them separate just because the females are so large that it's very easy for them to eat the fry. And in this next tank, I have another tank of my 24 karat gold strain. These are ones that I have for sale. Also some backup ones, just in case anything happens to that main tank, just because these were so hard to get originally and work with. You can see that male there with a nice long dorsal fin. And he's got the long pectoral fins. Very elegant looking. Not so much like a Dumbo, but they're longer and it doesn't really affect the way that they swim too much, which I really like. I'm not really a fan of the strains that struggle to swim. And the next tank over, I have my metallic nebulous steel guppies. I really like this strain a lot because the males kind of have variety to them. They're not all exactly the same. This one's got a nice dark pattern in the tail with the blue in the front and the kind of yellow in the body. Whereas this one's got a brighter tail. You can see the difference there in the two. But that's just part of this line, is throwing the different patterns. I really do like the different patterns in these. This male here I kept because he's got a nice thick body. He doesn't have trouble swimming at all, and he's also got a nice pattern. So that's something I look for when I'm selecting for my breeders. This tank is my red tail Dumbo ear guppies. This is my second attempt with this strain. The first attempt was pretty expensive, importing them from Thailand to find that they didn't breed true at all. The first attempts are down here. I've got a lot of females, but you can see that male, he's not the right color. Even that one is a male, even though it looks like a female. No color in the pectoral fins. The ones that look decent in here are actually the ones that I didn't like from this group here. I ended up buying 5 pairs. These ones look really nice. I finally got some fry out of these guys. You can see that little one right there. And we got some free swimming as the plants are starting to grow, starting to get some fry. I'm optimistic with this strain. I think with a little bit of work, they could be really great guppies because I really like that blue on the fins. And they might be a good pond fish. I prefer looking at these guppies from the top view. I think that's what they were originally bred for. You can really appreciate the ears, how big and blue they are from the top down view. So I might try these guys outside. I do have a couple tubs ready. I really do like that blue. In this tank, I have some gardener eye killifish. I have the standard gardener eyes in here, and then I also have a trio of the gold version. Let's see where that male is, the gold. He's back there. You can kind of see him there in the reflection. But I kind of ran out of tank space. They're not breeding right now, so they're all doing fine mixed together. This tank has a killifish that I've been looking for about 1.5 years. I can't pronounce the name of it, so I'm going to put a little text here. This killifish is one that you see on eBay that usually comes as eggs from I think it's either China or Hong Kong. They ship you some peat with some eggs in it, and it takes, a couple weeks to get to you, and then in a couple months you're supposed to soak that peat and hope that you get fry out of it. I was never successful with that, whether it's an error on my part or the time that it was in transit. For me, it took 3 weeks to get to me. I was finally able to get them as adults, a nice trio here. You can see the male there is super pretty. Females, not so much, but she's still got some blue spangling to her. So really cool fish. The reason that the eggs have to be hatched in peat is because where they come from, they'll lay eggs in their ponds, in the sediment, and those ponds will dry up. These are an annual killifish, so they're only living for about a year in our aquarium. Once they all die out in the dry season, the rainy season comes, floods those ponds back up, and all those eggs hatch again for the next season. So really cool fish. Looking forward to breeding these and maybe getting adult fish or young pairs and trios out to the hobby instead of people having to rely on getting eggs from another country and kind of hoping that they're successful. This tank I have in quarantine is my freshwater clouded archerfish. He's just temporarily in this 10-gallon right now, going through some meds. Just want to deworm him, make sure he's healthy before I add him to one of the 75s. I'm not sure which one yet. I've had one of these before. I really do enjoy them, especially when you just get them on to pellets. It's also really fun to put some driftwood in the tank and lower the water level and throw some crickets on the driftwood, and they actually will shoot at the crickets, shoot water at the crickets and get them that way, which is really, really cool to watch. In this tank in quarantine, I have 3 pufferfish, pea pufferfish. Let's see, got one right there. They all seem to be getting along in this 10-gallon. I mainly got them to feed my extra snails to. I have snails in all of my tanks. Some tanks I would rather not have them, so I figured these guys would be a good way to help me take care of the snails that I can't hand pick. Some of those small ones that get into the crevices. They're also really cool fish. This next tank is my guppy misfit tank, mostly. These are all the cull males that I don't like and I won't sell to people. They're still good looking fish, so I'll actually bring these to my local fish store for a little bit of credit. Still good looking males, just not what I'm looking for in the lines that I'm selling. Also got some bristlenose fry in here. And then next to that, in this 5-gallon, I've got the latest batch of Medaka orange rice fish fry. Let's see if we can focus on them. These guys will get, I have a tank down here that's just green water. I had a bunch of bristlenose fry in there, was feeding heavy, and it went green. I eventually sold all of the bristlenose, and the tank stood green. I don't do anything to it. It kind of just sits there. So I know it's really hard to keep green water for some people, but I'm really lucky in that this 20-gallon just stays green. So in the beginning, they get green water, some Hikari first bites, and this is my brine shrimp hatchery. I run 2 of them here. This is Dean's setup, pretty much, with the special bottle and the nozzles that are separate. I really like this setup. It's really good for a fish room because right now it's collecting all of the brine shrimp there, and I could feed a lot of brine shrimp to all these tanks. All the fry, even the adult fish get brine shrimp. It's really good for them, and it really helps me condition fish to breed. This tank I have some tequila sunrise guppies. Pretty common guppy. You can find the males at Petco, but I managed to get a line that was true breeding. I really do like this strain, even though it's common. I think it's a good looking fish. And now I get to have some at home and actually breed true tequila sunrise guppies. And also hiding in the back there, I do have a nice sized group of adult albino Corydoras that I'm looking to breed next once I add more tanks to the fish room and give them their own space. Here I have my breeding pair of super red koi angelfish. I was very lucky to get these from Angels Plus. They have high orange coverage. The darker one here is actually the female. And this lighter one here is the male. I did have 1 spawn from them so far, and I did get wigglers, but unfortunately those wigglers were eaten, so the next time they spawn I'm gonna go ahead and take this cone, put it in its own tank with some methylene blue, and see if we have better luck. Alright, in my last tank here, this is one of my original tanks before the fish room. It's a 75-gallon, custom made. So the dimensions are a little different than the standard 75. It's a little bit deeper and less wide. Here is where those that pair of angelfish were. This is another super red misfit male. Guess he wasn't as lucky as the other guy. I also have some Philippine blue angelfish in here. Did get 1 spawn from these guys, so I know they're a little small, but they're ready to breed. We got wigglers. One of these blue angelfish actually paired off with this male, and that's how I knew the sexes of each one. Didn't get to pull those. I am curious to see what would happen with a almost full orange body and black with the Philippine blue. This tank it's got the Aquarium Co-op sand back when Aquarium Co-op still shipped their sand out. I really do like this sand. It's a coarser sand. We have the carpet of dwarf Sagittaria. This is a high grow species that was sold to me as willow high grow. I know it's not willow high grow, but I really do like the way it looks anyway. And then we have some jungle val in there, and we do have a background on this tank. I really do like that background from Universal Rock. I just wish that there was a better way to hold it up against the glass than what they were given. And we do have a Siamese algae eater in here, along with some rummy nose tetras. Alright, that was my first fish room tour ever. If you stuck with me this long, I really do appreciate it. If you guys want to stay up to date with everything with this new rack, the new fish going in, the breeding projects, go ahead and subscribe. And we'll see you in the next one.